And Monica's like, what does that mean? I was like, what does what mean? She's like, what does usurped mean? I'm like, oh, look at me, sitting thrown to lose power. I felt like a dictionary the entire day. Because it would happen, even the little words, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everyone knows this word.
And you're like they're like, no, you can't use the word in the meaning, because you're like, have you ever tried to do that? Try to explain a word without using it?
Yeah.
Like, well, courage is when you
are
courageous. Courage.
Don't you get it now? She asked me what the word, she's like, what does consistency mean? And I was like, consistency is to be consistent. It is constant.
It is constant.
I was having a hard time. I was like, I wish I were the human Webster. But it would happen all the time with words. I'm like, oh dang, why don't people just... She's like only 18. I'm like, but even at 18, I'm like, those weren't words that I was unfamiliar with. I was still using them in my everyday vocabulary, and yet still, like,
yeah, like, you know what happened to me once? I asked the TA if the last section of the paper was mandatory, and she looked at me like, and the girl across to me, like, said, don't use such big words. And I was like, oh my god! And then, like, here's this one word that totally explains what I mean. Is this mandatory? You know? But I had to explain to the TA in like a billion more words that I would have normally had to use, do I have to do this section? Like, I could have used one word for these 10. Like, thank you. It wasn't a teenager either. It was a full-grown woman. She had children and everything. Jeez. But apparently not a college education.
Apparently not a high school education. The thing is, I get frustrated. I love Monica, and I love my mom, and my mom, like, I was holding a conversation and playing, like, Sudoku on hard, and I was watching TV at the same time, and Monica asked me something, and I was like, something along the lines of something being superfluous, and,
I love superfluous.
And then it came out again. She's like, what does that mean? And my mom's like, turn off for 10 minutes! What do you mean, turn off for 10 minutes? She's like, and then something even funnier happened. My mom was trying to make an incest joke with Shakespeare, and I was like, no, what happened was, apparently some of my cousins are being incestuous. like second or third cousins related. Like, Uncle Vincent is dating Aunt Marge's great-great-granddaughter.
Oh, wow, that's not hard to follow at all.
So, everyone found it out, and my mom was like, oh, it's so gross, it's just like Shakespeare. I'm like, no, I started out, I was like, well, that's not unusual. Mark Twain married his cousin. And so my mom was like, well, so did Shakespeare. I'm like, no, Shakespeare didn't. She's like, well, Hamlet. I'm like, Hamlet's a story. It's not Shakespeare. It's not his life. My mom was like, she flew up again. I was like, holy crap. She's like, you have all the answers. Makes sense, and I won't. It was such a trial down there. I was like, I love you all. Why can't you just go to school?
Read a book.
The worst thing is, it's not like I even, like, graduated high school.
Oh my god, we had GEDs!
What?
I need to go.
Okay, let's go.